Alright, this next section of the video is audio, and audio in the studio is a little bit different from audio in the truck. Audio in the truck is something that we'll get to later on, using the audio board and stuff like that. Audio in the studio basically means miking up your talent, miking up what's going on in the studio so that you can hear it once you get to the truck. To do that, you saw a nice little pan to the elevator door, and this is where all the microphones are located. They're all on these two shelves right here. And they're all labeled, 1, 2, 3, and the 3 bottom ones aren't labeled, but you'll get the idea really quickly of why they're labeled and how you can differentiate between the 2 different microphones. So the microphones usually live right on top of the receivers. They're all wireless mics, which means that they eat through batteries pretty quickly. The microphones look like this with a transmitter pack, which can go in somebody's back pocket or wallet pocket inside their blazer if it's a gentleman wearing a suit or a blazer. And they have a microphone on a clip, which is we call it a lavalier, and that's the more professional term for it. It's also called a lapel mic because more often than not it's attached to the lapel of somebody's jacket. And a little antenna on the top there, showing you that it's the transmitter, not the receiver. So these mics are made by Sennheiser, and these are pretty much the standard ones that you're going to see in the studios. Over here on this side, we have a clear plastic sort of protection thing here with a mute button above it. And the way to turn these mics on, we'll go through battery checks and making sure they're the proper mics for the situation. You do that by pushing this in here and sliding it back. And it exposes this little LED screen and a couple of different buttons and menu options. So first we want to turn the mic on by pressing the on-off switch, and you'll see a bunch of numbers that come up. In this case, wire 3, which is labeled here. Wire 3 corresponds with 3 up here, and on the back the label says 651.800 megahertz, which is the frequency that this broadcasts to. Each of these microphone receivers has a different frequency, so you can separate different mics for different talent and guests, so they don't all bleed into each other's frequency. So if we look at the front of this guy, it says 651.800. The back of this on the label says 651.800, and our screen, sure enough, says 651.800. So you can close that. If you can't hear anything, a good check once you turn it on and make sure all the frequencies line up is to look at the front of this, and there's actually a VU meter that bounces. The top bar are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares, and that shows you signal strength from the microphone to the receiver. So if you're really far away, if you're down the hall with a microphone, this might be very low because it's not getting a good signal. Since we're right next to the transmitter, that's at full 8 bars. The bars below it is a VU meter, a volume unit meter. So you can see when I'm talking into this that our volume unit meter is bouncing up and down. That's saying that this is receiving audio, and sure enough, it should be sending it to the truck as well. Some of the tests, if you don't see the VU meter bouncing, could be this mute button here. It could be set to mute. You want it in the up position the entire time, and that'll allow you to have, audio going through. The other problem is if it doesn't turn on, it could be a battery issue. You replace the battery by going to Ames, asking them for a 9-volt battery, or anybody else that works here for that matter. You come to this side, you push it down, it flips up. You can discard the old battery and put the new one in. And the next thing is dressing. It's the professional term for putting a microphone on somebody. This is Steve. Hello, Steve. Steve is wearing a pretty good shirt for dressing microphones, and generally you want to ask somebody to put the microphone through their shirt themselves. You don't want to dive into their shirt with a microphone cord. It's not very appropriate. So Steve, can you just string this through your shirt? So this is bad. The microphone's on the inside. So if Steve was on the mic, he would be rustling. So we're gonna switch it to this side, and we're gonna make a little loop. We make the loop because if the microphone, if the transmitter box falls for any reason, it'll put strain on the loop and not on the connector with the microphone. So we have a nice little loop. We're gonna clip it to his jacket. The wire is pretty much hidden. That's in a pretty good spot. If Steve was just wearing a t-shirt, the microphone will be too high, and there's always a chance that it'll just like, you know, rub into his neck, or you won't, you know, his chin would block good signal audio from getting to the microphone. So, well done.
Good work, Dave.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by.
Come again.